So Nigeria committed a handball offense yesterday that should have been a penalty call, and that was the reason why Algerian players after the game were visibly annoyed with the referee, and they attacked, and they exchanged. In fact, it got to the point where they started exchanging blows. If you were not strong, if you are not strong enough, you don't go there. Else, one blue, seven dies. One blue, seven dies. So it was a very serious situation, and that was the reason why they got so agitated and annoyed. But then, was the referee wrong in the decision making? That is what I want us to look into today. Let us look at the laws. Now, IFAB, International Football Association Board, they are responsible for, guidance of the law. They make the laws in football, and then they are responsible for rule changes. They meet every year and change rules, update it, make it better. And then they have global representation. So they are representing the world in, football rules. And so this is the rule that the FIFA rule uses, the FA uses, the English FA, all football. This is the rule they use, the IFAB rule. Now let's go to, IFAB rule number 12, which talks on fouls and misconduct. If you go to that rule, you will see direct free kick. And then under the direct free kick, go down, you see another heading that says handball, handling the ball. That rule says handling the ball. Now, it talks about handballs and, fouls, calling for fouls and handball, especially fouls that comes as a result of handballs. Now, we are going to look into this. Whatever you did not see in this rule does not constitute handball. It does not constitute a foul. And so let's go into it. It says, for the purpose of determining handball offenses, the upper boundary of the arm is in line with the bottom of the armpit. Now, not every touch of a player's hand/arm with the ball is an offense. Not every touch of a player's hand to the ball constitutes a handball. Now, it is an offense if a player, number one, deliberately touches the ball with their hand/arm. For example, moving the arm or hand towards the ball. Number two, it is an offense if the player touches the ball with their hand and arm when it has made their body unnaturally bigger. When your hand/arm makes your body unnaturally bigger. And if you watch at that game, you discover that the defender's arm made his body unnaturally bigger. And that was why the Algerian players were complaining. If you look at it, it made his body unnaturally bigger. His arm is supposed to remain close to his body, but it was extended. Now, I want you to see the catch. Also, the rule states that it is an offense if the player scores in the opponent's goal directly from their handball, even if it is accidental. So if they get a goal from a handball, it is an offense. Now, we move further to why the referee did not call for a penalty. Now, going further to explain this rule, remember I told you that year in, year out, they always meet to, make the rule clearer, make it more conspicuous for everybody to understand, for the layman to understand, for footballers to understand, and everybody who's enthusiastic about football to understand. And now they went further to say, what is not a handball offense in football/soccer? What is not a handball offense in football/soccer? It says a handball offense is not committed when a player heads, kicks, or plays the ball with another part of their body and it then hits their own hand/arm. Unless the ball goes directly into the opponent's goal or the player scores immediately afterwards. Now, this place explains why the referee did not call for a penalty. It says if a player heads the ball, kicks the ball, or plays the ball with another part of the body, and then he hits his own arm, that this is not considered as a handball. And so the referee is right in that call. Why? Look at the ball. Look at the way the trajectory of the ball was coming. He placed his hands and arm on the natural position, but then he was now sprinting, and then his hand went out, and was on the unnatural position. But what happened next? He struck his thigh. The ball struck his leg before it got to the arm. Look at, the splash of water, because I think everywhere it was drizzling. Then you notice the splash of water before it now hit his hand, and you also notice immediately it struck his hand, you notice the splash of water again. So that splash of water tells you that there was contact with his leg, which changed the direction of the ball and struck his hand. So in that situation, it is not a handball, and the referee was right in that call. This is the sole reason why the goal that Calvin Bassey should have scored, which should have been a goal, was not called a goal, because of the rules, the IFAB rules. The rule states that if the ball has not completely crossed the line, it is not a goal. And so the ball was still, part edge of the ball was still at, touching the edge of the line. So it wasn't clearly out of the line. So it wasn't a goal. So you discover that if you are supposed to be angry that that penalty was not given, also you should also be angry that Nigerian goal was not also given. So these are rules, and these rules must be followed to the letter. Else, one party will be disenfranchised. One party will feel that they have been cheated, or will feel they have been hard done. And so this is what I have to say about this situation.